Vedic scriptures say that a person who understands the law of karma is free from suffering. Such a person overcomes their destiny through righteous living and thus alleviates suffering. In this article, we will examine the 12 laws of karma and how we can correct our destiny and improve our lives by following these laws. What is karma? Karma is a Sanskrit term that literally means action or deed. In the Buddhist tradition, karma refers to an action driven by intention, which leads to future consequences. Each action can be analyzed through the lens of the 4 elements of karma. 1. The object of the action. 2. Motivation. 3. The action itself. 4. The attitude towards the completed action. Judgment. Only by combining all these 4 elements of karma can we fully determine what action is being taken, what consequences it might lead to, and even estimate how soon the person will experience the effect of their action, cause. It's important to note that karma is not punishment or retribution, although it can be translated that way. Karma is the consequences one receives based on how they have lived. There is no influence of fate here, so a person decides what will be better for them and can determine how to behave to maximally influence their destiny in this and subsequent incarnations. The 4 elements of karma. Now, let's take a closer look at the 4 elements of karma and their significance. 1. The object of the action. This is the first thing we evaluate when trying to analyze an action. It is believed that our interactions with people, and with living beings in general, are determined by the karmic connections we have with these people or beings. According to Vedic knowledge, anyone we meet, anyone we see, any living creature that comes into our field of vision has some karmic connection with us. In your life, you will never meet or see people or other living beings who do not have a karmic connection with you. Everyone we interact with in one way or another has a karmic connection with us from our past lives. The intensity of these connections varies. For example, a person with whom we just exchanged glances in a store has a weak karmic connection with us, while our parents are souls with whom a karmic connection has been formed over many lifetimes, making it very strong. 2. Motivation. The second element of karma is motivation. Paradoxically, actions may often look the same, but it is the motivation that determines how the action can be characterized. For instance, you may have heard of the harsh methods Zen teachers use to help their students in their spiritual journey. Zen teachers used strikes, pokes, and shouts to cut off moments of contemplation. For the same purpose, they might throw a student out of a window. As you can see, the action may appear harsh, but the motivation behind it is noble. Teachers inflicted harm on their students not out of anger or frustration, but out of a sense of compassion. Their motivation was to help their students on their spiritual journey. At the same time, we can see a lot of violence in the world that stems from anger, envy, hatred, etc. In such cases, motivation creates negative karma. Thus, you can see that the same form of action can have radically different motives, leading to different karma. 3. The action. Now, let's talk about the action itself. People often believe that if you have the intention to do something bad but are unable to do it due to circumstances beyond your control, it does not count as a bad deed. However, according to divine law, any action, whether complete or incomplete, causes a karmic effect. We must always remember that karma accumulates on 3 levels: the level of the body, speech, and mind. And if a person in their thoughts executes someone, it is the same as if they did it on a physical level. This is even confirmed by modern science. According to neuroscientist Jeremy Bennett, Our brain does not distinguish real events from our fantasies and reacts to everything equally. The same applies to karma. 4. Attitude towards the action. This is the final element in creating karma. There is a belief that even if a person committed the most terrible act towards, for example, their parents, and their motivation was the most vile, but after committing the act, they realized they were wrong and sincerely repented, this will ease the retribution for the deed. But this rule works in the opposite direction as well. For example, if a person made a donation but their motivation was selfish, such as learning about the law of karma and deciding to donate money purely for commercial interests to gain some karmic benefits, then, in this case, such an attitude towards the completed action will affect the final result. Either the reward for the act will come much later, or in a much smaller amount. It's important to remember that everything is energy. Your emotions and thoughts are energy in motion. Every action creates corresponding energy that returns to you in the form of positive or negative consequences. Studying the 12 laws of karma helps us understand how karma actually works. By following these laws, we become more mindful of our thoughts, emotions, actions, and deeds, creating a better life for ourselves and others. Now, let's examine the 12 laws of karma and how they work. 1. The Great Law. This is the law of cause and effect. When you hear someone talk about karma, they are most likely referring to the first law of karma. What you sow, you shall reap, or what you give, you get. If you emit positive thoughts and actions, you will receive positive consequences. If you release negative thoughts and actions, you will receive negative consequences. 2. The law of creation. This law of karma reminds us that each of us is part of this universe and requires us to participate in it. Each of us is a co-creator. To a greater or lesser extent, you are responsible for everything that happens in your life, on this planet and in this universe. The accumulated karma of society members also affects the development of the entire society. Therefore, we must remember our responsibility for co-creating this reality in a harmonious and peaceful way. 3. The law of humility. This law reminds us of personal responsibility for everything that happens in our lives. It teaches us to accept the fact that our current reality is the result of our past actions. Only by accepting the situation can we change it. To do this, we need to develop spiritual awareness. Once we are aware of the situation or state we are in, we can influence it. When you find yourself in a negative situation, don't be quick to blame others. Humble yourself and look within. Accept this situation and the lesson you need to learn from it. 4. The law of growth. As we develop and change, our external reality will expand and change as a result. When you begin to grow spiritually, you change an entire layer of your life. Therefore, there is no need to force your reality to change. Start with yourself. You can only change what you control, which is yourself, not others. If you want a better life, focus on your spiritual growth, and reality will catch up to your new level. 5. The law of responsibility. This law states that you are a product of the choices you make. It teaches us that we must take full responsibility for our lives and what happens to us. Don't blame other people, parents, the government, or colleagues at work. Turn your gaze to yourself as the cause of everything that happens to you. To apply this law in practice, take responsibility for your role in every situation. 6. The law of connection. Our past, present, and future are connected. Everything we did in the past has brought us to where we are now. Everything we do today will lead us to our future. and the quality of the future will depend on the quality of the energy we produce today. Your negative attitude today will result in negative consequences in the future. In other words, who you are today is the result of your past actions, and your actions today will determine who you will be tomorrow. 7. The law of focus. This law states that you cannot direct your energy to two things at once. When we focus on too many things at once, we tend to slow down and be less productive. But when we concentrate on one thing, we achieve much more and with much better results. 8. The law of generosity and hospitality. This law states that you must practice what you preach. Let your actions be a reflection of your deepest beliefs. For example, if you want to be surrounded by kind and loving people, you need to focus on nurturing kindness and love towards others. Think about your highest values and let them become your life principles. 9. The law of here and now. This law of karma states that we should not regret the past, nor should we worry about the future, but focus on the present moment. When we spend too much time thinking about our past or future, we drain energy from the present. All negativity is caused by the accumulation of psychological time and the denial of the present. Anxiety, worry, tension, stress, unrest, all forms of fear, are caused by too much future and not enough presence. Guilt, regret, resentment, grievances, sadness, bitterness, and all forms of unforgiveness are caused by too much past and not enough presence. 10. The law of change. This law states that the situation will not change and will repeat in different forms until you learn the lesson and become a better version of yourself. This is the only way to break the vicious cycle. 11. The law of patience and reward. This law requires patience, not working for the reward. Let your main reward be the true joy and pleasure of the process itself. When you master the basic laws of karma step by step and embody them in life, rewards will always find you at the right moment. 12. The law of significance and inspiration. This law of karma states that we all have unique gifts that we can share with the world. Each of us can make a positive impact on this world. Work with love and be inspired by everything you do. Live according to your highest purpose, and this will fill you with strength and energy. Remember that what you put your energy into plays a big role in your life, and vice versa. Focus on making a positive contribution to this world, and you will always succeed. So, we have examined the 12 laws of karma. As I noted earlier, the law of karma has nothing to do with retribution. It should not be understood as a reward or punishment from God, the universe, or anyone else. We can view this law from the perspective of retribution only in the sense that a person shapes their reality with their actions, and thus retribution will occur depending on how many positive or negative actions and thoughts have been generated over past lives. This is where concepts like negative or positive karma originate. If a person has negative karma, it may need to be resolved over several incarnations and will continue to affect the person in the form of life circumstances, their environment, etc. However, it is important to remember that each of us has the potential to eliminate negative karma by choosing thoughts and actions that will help create the desired reality and a harmonious life. Thank you for exploring yourself and the universe with me. Trust yourself, listen to your heart, and move forward with confidence and calmness. Like and share this video with friends if it was helpful to you. See you again on my channel, where we will continue to explore the mysteries of spiritual development and growth. Goodbye, and may light and wisdom always accompany you on your path.